So I'm going to show off my radio setup here for the front room here. First we got this ICOM radio here. It was my first analog handheld. The batteries have kind of gotten old and don't work anymore. It's too clunky to carry around, but it has two-tone. So it's set to the local volunteer fire station that covers my area per my county GIS map zones. That's what the volunteer fire departments cover. So this radio is on 24/7. I'm not a volunteer firefighter, but if I'm around the house doing something or reading or studying or doing something, I can just leave this on to listen to endless radio traffic of the fire department. And it connects to this HT 1250 CDM 1250 type era Motorola speaker. I may get this clock I got from a thrift store. It's an old school odometer type clock made in Japan by General Electric. Then we got this crystal radio here, which it is amazing. It's probably new old stock, I'm guessing. Came from Florida. It runs county EMS. And I run EMS so I know what's going on with EMS, but other incidents in the county, because the police are encrypted. And if somebody's hurt, EMS is going to show up. I also get to hear the struggle of EMS, how they don't have enough providers to do the job. And I'll say this straight up. It's because this particular county has pre-COVID pay grades. I mean, nobody's going to run around for $15, $16 an hour doing this. I have it kind of wired with a secondary speaker because there's these terminals back here. It kind of splits the audio a little bit between this speaker and this old computer speaker that I found and I spliced up to do that. So that way I can hear it in the man cave there. Then we have this weather radio. I'm not some Skywarn kind of guy who's really in the storm responding. I have all the alerts shut off except for warnings like severe thunderstorm or tornado warning or weird national messages I hope we never hear. Then I got this GE speaker here. My guess is it might have been taken out of the state police car or something. Somebody smoked, I think. Might even take out a fire truck, who knows. I got a fire truck, so it does cigarette butt burn right here. This is very 1970s, very 1980s. I wanted to replace the Motorola one with a period correct one of this, but those Motorola speakers in good shape are like $30, $40, $50, $60. This here is, I got this off eBay. This is a 350A. It's one of the smallest scanners come out at its time. Very nice, simple analog scanner. It gained some popularity in the air band for people that monitor air frequencies still, local control towers. Simple antenna here. Hooked up with this. This monitors county fire in the open. So that way you can listen to dispatch all the time if you want to do. One thing to mention, there's no antenna on this radio. I got a cheap car radio antenna off of Amazon. And it runs out to here by the front door. Now, you may ask why it's out by the front door like this. Well, what happened was there's some source of interference. And I think what happens is they may have multiple towers on the same frequency, and it overwhelms the radio when they transmit all at once off of different towers off of EMS. Both the systems are linked back to the Viper digital trunk system. However, I gotta stop doing the However, I think there's multiple transmitting sites for fire and EMS. And as far as I know, from what I heard from the local ham radio community, these sites are one-way transmit sites. They don't receive radio traffic. So if somebody, a volunteer firefighter, had an old VHF radio programmed, it wouldn't key up any repeaters because the repeaters don't exist anymore. They have to have a Viper digital radio. But however, I'm a strong believer in VHF analog tonal learning. Your fire and EMS dispatch should always be analog so people can listen to it still. Police dispatch, we're not going to go down that road. They're encrypted. There's nothing we can do, and it's the way of the world. We got to enjoy the fire departments while we still can listen to them. I guess My estimate will be able to listen to fire departments for many more years to come, especially in rural volunteer areas where, you know, we just got to make a system work. But anyhow, I put this antenna on here by the door and all that interference, so it's kind of like the radio was drifting when EMS would come in on 155.235. I also noticed it by more expensive commercial radios. And it does this only really in this area where I live. It's something of interference in the area. I've been wanting to run the SDR to figure out what it is. Oh, there it is. It was doing it right there for a second. But anyhow, usually if this door closed and you're not standing in front of the antenna, which I don't use this door very often, I'd say my EMS traffic, I'd be able to copy it probably much, much better without the fade out. I'd probably say 85 to 90% of the time it comes in fine. But these EMS agencies nationwide, especially in rural counties where the EMS isn't as progressive as, say, Charlotte or other counties, they're really struggling right now.